Hello, and welcome to Verbling. I'm teacher Oakley. I need to start by apologizing for the late beginning. I had some strange technological problems, unforeseen due to technical difficulties. The class is starting a little bit late today. My apologies for that. I'm still not sure how I even managed to get the class started, but okay, I think maybe there are some uh, upgrades or changes being made somewhere in the system between Hangouts and Verbling. I'm not sure. In any case, I'm here now, and please join me because in this class we are going to be looking at some extremely unimportant trivia, basically utterly meaningless, but I think that you will find very interesting little tidbits, facts, pieces of information that are uh, uh, quite unusual, actually. It's a collection of both natural, physical, scientific facts, which will amaze and astound you, and also um, facts and statistics that are related to human beings and human society, which I think you might find surprising. Um, as we go along, I'll be sharing these dumb facts with you. As we go along, we will be discussing them. Now, I'm telling you right up front, some of them really don't lend themselves to a lot of discussion, so I'll just share those with you. But some of them are very interesting and possibly controversial and possibly might be worth discussing somewhat. So we will be, in addition to learning these crazy facts, we'll be uh, discussing some of them. Some of them are surprising and possibly controversial. Okay. Again, I'm kind of late starting the class, I realize, so I hope everyone did not give up on me. But in any case, just to give you an idea of the fun and weird facts that we're going to be looking at today, I'm going to do a screen share and show you what we have in store here. Okay. All right, here's dumb fact number one. Okay, in the area of vocabulary, a little English vocabulary for you. A jiffy is a common, I always thought it was actually slang. I'll be there in a jiffy. I'll be right with you in a jiffy. Um, this is what I thought was an expression that means I'll be with you shortly. I'll be with you soon. I'll be with you in a second. I'll be with you in a minute. These are very common expressions that we use in English, clearly to express the idea that to ask someone to wait for a short time. As it turns out, a jiffy is an actual unit of time. As a native speaker, I was absolutely sure that it was just slang, but in fact, it is 1/100th of a second. Crazy fact number one. Okay. Crazy fact number two. If you yelled for over 8.5 years without stopping or breathing, you would have produced enough sound energy to heat 1 cup of coffee. Think about that. If only we could harness Donald Trump's mouth, we could power the world. Uh, okay. Now, here's one. If I had somebody to talk to here, come on in and join me. Here's one that we might actually discuss. The top 6 reasons for being late for work. Number 1 is traffic. Seems logical. 2 is oversleeping. Who actually tells their boss they overslept? 3 is procrastination. I don't understand this, and I would like someone to join me so they could explain this. I don't know what that means. Procrastinate going to work? I don't even understand that. Okay, in regards to vocabulary, learning vocabulary, for those who don't know, procrastination, when we voluntarily put off doing tasks or other things, basically until the last minute. Very common, common aspect of the human condition, I think. I do not understand number 4. Again, I wish somebody would join me so we could talk about this. Who tells their boss I was doing chores? I don't get it. What chores? I was washing the dishes, so I'm late to work. I don't understand that. In what culture or society is doing chores a reason to be late? If anybody could explain that to me, I would love to hear it. Personally, as an American, I've never heard that excuse before. Traffic? Oversleeping? Yeah, I've heard it. Car trouble? Definitely have heard that. Having sex. Now, I personally have never told my boss, I'm sorry I'm late for work because I was having sex. I don't understand this one either. All right. Again, I invite any Verbling viewer who's out there, please do join me because, frankly, some of these dumb facts are dumbfounding to me. I don't understand them. And I would like to talk to other people who might actually know what they're talking about. I find this dumbfounding. Okay, let's look at some other stupid facts while I wait for someone to join me. Okay, next stupid fact. Scientific. If you pet a cat 70 million times, 1, 2, 3, 4, you will have developed enough static electricity to light a 60-watt light bulb for 1 minute. Okay, I wonder how long that would actually take you. Perhaps 1 second per stroke. That would be 70 million seconds. If anybody would care to do the math, I think it would be a while. Okay, here's another interesting dumb fact that, again, I would like to discuss with anyone who would like to join me. Car accidents rise 10% during the first week of daylight savings time. Why do you think that is? Does anybody have a possible reason for that? Okay, daylight savings time in the northern hemisphere. Spring forward. Generally, most places you spring forward in the spring for 1 hour and you fall back 1 hour in the fall. So why does that cause car accidents? Again, some of these dumb facts I would like to share with somebody so they could explain them. Next dumb fact, 85 million tons of paper are used each year in the US. Probably 80 million tons of paper are used for taxes. Ha! Okay, I have no idea why so much paper. If you think about the fact that there are 300, I believe, 309 million Americans, that is a great deal of paper per American citizen. Consider 85 million, okay, that divided by that 300 million, basically 3 into 85, that's a lot of paper. All right, if you were to say, I'll be with you in an attosecond, then you're saying that you're requesting the person wait for at least 1 billionth of a billionth of a second. Okay. Astounding. I did not know that existed. Did you know that there is a National Pie Day? And no, this does not mean that we're all going to eat pie. It is actually the mathematical number associated with geometry. And as you might suspect, it is pi. That is to say, 3/14. It's coming right up very soon, in a month. March 14th at 1:59 in the afternoon is the official pie time. How will you celebrate? Draw a circle is my suggestion. Okay. All right. Anyone out there care to join me? We can talk about these ridiculous facts. A billionth digit of pi is 9. Wow. In case you have to know that, now you know. The odds of a mother having twins are 90 to 1. Now, again, that might be worth discussing. Please join me and we can talk about it. Do you agree? Is it the same everywhere, in every country, every ethnicity? Is it more likely you're going to have twins if you live in Africa or United States? How reliable is this dumb fact? I like this next one. Again, I would love to discuss this with somebody in your country. Is this sorry, is this crazy in comparison to what happens in your country? All right, right now, this very second, 70% of the people driving on US highways are speeding. As an American, I would say, if anything, this number is low, would be my guess. If it's only 70%, it's probably because some people are pulling up to a stop sign or a red light at this very second, in my guesstimate. In speaking with, oh, okay, great. Hogan has joined me here. Hi, Hogan.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
I'm the only one here.
You're the only one. I've been sitting here talking to myself for
okay.
about 15 minutes. I was a little late. I think the problem was I was late starting the class. I had some technical problems.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Hogan, we're going to learn some stupid facts which you can astound and amaze your family and friends with, and maybe talk about some of them a little bit. Some of them are basically scientific, and I don't know if there's much to say, but some of them are related to society. So, for example, look at this one here. All right, the idea that at this very second, 70% of the people driving on U.S. highways are speeding. I was just commenting that I think that number is low, if anything. Hogan, in Korea, do people speed when they drive? Is it basically normal?
Yeah, I think they used to speed a lot, but these days a lot of hidden camera is working. So they just try to speed up, but the navigator will say you there is the camera like 100 meter ahead, then reduce the speed, then they reduce speed. So that's what I experienced last time I visited. So there are tons and tons of cameras and sensors. So, but fortunately, everybody has their very intelligent navigator, so they know where to reduce the speed.
Okay. What did you? I missed what you. I didn't hear what you said. Something will say you. First of all, it should be will tell you. But who or what will tell you that you're speeding?
The intelligent navigator.
Oh, okay. I see.
Okay, yeah.
Got it.
So the
Oh,
navigator in Korea is a very, very big screen. So yeah,
is it?
actually it blocks your view in front. But anyway, it gives you a lot of information.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, you are now crashing into a wall because you can't see where you're going.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
For
typical.
example. Well,
Actually,
okay.
yeah, I'm one of the driving U.S. highways speeding, so I am one of them. So
Oh, when you're, yeah,
in here in Los Angeles, like 65 5 mile zone highways, everybody runs like 75, so even
yeah,
80. Yeah, so I'm just trying to catch up with other drivers. I'm not alone speed, but
no.
just harmonize with other people.
Yeah, I've driven in Los Angeles. I know what you're talking about. Like Highway 5, everyone seems to be going like 80,
Yeah,
85 miles an hour. And if you don't keep up, you're going to get run over.
that's right. But these days, a lot of traffic because of a lot of traffic, you may not run that fast. But in some highways, it's not really crowded. Then you can
Yeah.
speed. Yep.
I actually have a friend, true story, absolutely 100% true, in New Jersey, driving on the New Jersey Turnpike,
Hmm.
another very similar to the highways in Los Angeles. Everyone is bumper to bumper, but traveling 75 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour faster than the speed limit generally.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
I lived in New Jersey as well, so
Oh, really?
I'm very aware of the New Jersey Turnpike.
Okay.
Yes. So,
So you know what
yeah.
I'm talking about. All right, great.
Right.
She was pulled over by the police because she was driving the speed limit, and they gave her a ticket for impeding traffic
What do you
because
mean by impeding traffic?
well, impede is to basically block. Okay,
Oh, okay. Because he she drove too late, too slow. I
too
mean.
slow. That's right. Because she was following the law. She was actually not breaking the law. She was driving at or under the speed limit. So
Right.
they gave her a ticket for being a hazard to other drivers. Crazy, right? Um,
But I don't really think that's fair.
I
Even
don't
if it's
either.
block, yeah, even if it's blocking the traffic, so just following the rule doesn't necessarily you have to get a ticket.
I
So
know. I think it's outrageous. I know.
yeah.
That's right. I agree. It's crazy. Speaking to policemen about it, however, Hogan, I have been told by policemen in 2 or 3 different states where I've lived, they all tell me exactly the same thing. Basically, they set things up so that they're not going to bother stopping you unless you're 10 miles an hour over the speed limit or more. If you're traveling, if you set up if you auto drive
Mhm.
or whatever to 9 miles an hour over the speed limit, you're never going to get pulled over. And and basically, I always did that. I followed that rule that policemen told me about, and I never got pulled over for a speeding ticket ever.
Yeah, usually, yeah. So I'm also driving maximum 10, not maybe
Yeah,
sometimes 15, but it's only the other car is faster than me. So
yeah,
otherwise, I'm not going over 10 miles per hour.
right.
So ironically, if there are a lot more cars in the highway, I can run faster.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. Uh, okay, let's look at some other stupid facts here. Okay, if you could read the next one. Ooh, again, could you read this one for me?
Sure. There are 74 lobbyists for every one senator in Washington D.C. Is it true? Wow.
Yeah, this is a case where we say sad but true.
Oh my God.
As a commentary, very common expression in English. Sad but true. Yeah, when we come across a
So
fact like this.
the lobbyists that compete against each other, right?
Well, obviously, yeah, they must be. Must I would hate to have that job. How would you like to be a lobbyist, Hogan? What a job. Must be very cutthroat, you know? do anything to climb on top of your competitors.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a scary fact. All right. For those who don't know, who may be watching or whatever, lobbyists are people who try to influence politicians, senators, congressmen, whomever, influence them, obviously, to create laws or, or apportion money, the budget that will benefit them. Obviously, that's pretty frightening.
So do you know how many senators in the United States?
Well, that one's easy. There's 100 because senators, there are 2 senators for every state, no matter how small or large the state is.
Okay.
Everyone gets 2 senators. The one that I can't answer you, and I always forget, I've learned it like 20 times, but I always forget, is how many congressmen, because that is apportioned that works by population. So,
not by state.
That's right. So every state has to get at least 1, but there's some states only have 1 congressman. A tiny little state like Rhode Island or Vermont or South Dakota, they have 1 or 2. But a huge state like Texas or California or New York, they have like, I don't know how many, 12, 15, I'm not sure.
So when you say congressman is the senator?
Not the senator. Okay, there's the Senate, and the person is the senator, which there's 100, and then there's a separate government body, Congress. And again, I don't know how many there are, but there's a lot more.
The representative, right?
The representatives, yeah. That's
right. All right. So maybe more than the senator,
yeah,
right?
Definitely more.
Definitely more.
I don't know. I can't ever remember how many. It's like 300 or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, think about that. If there's like 300, basically you're talking about 1 representative for every 1,000,000 people. It's something like that. Yeah. But some states don't even have 1,000,000 people. Like Vermont, there's less than 1,000,000, but everybody gets at least 1. Okay. All right. Let's look at some more stupid facts. Okay. If you counted, I'll read the next one. You can get this one's. There's nothing really to talk about, so you can get the next one. If you counted for 24 hours a day, it would take over 31,000 years to reach 1 trillion. Okay, so don't waste your time, Hogan. All right. Maybe you want to waste your time on the next one. Okay. Can you read this one?
Sure. Banging your head against the wall uses 150 calories an hour. Wow, okay. So that I can lose my weight.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where you're going to lose weight, in your neck, in your head. I am not sure.
Is it saying that just 1 banging or banging an hour?
Banging your head for an hour. Yeah, what are they saying? It must be per hour. Okay. The way it's phrased.
Right. Just 1 banging does not necessarily 150 calories.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's a very stupid idea.
That's not a fitness program I would recommend. It's very interesting. There's a couple food forms, kinds of food. Celery literally has like 1 or 2 calories. It has almost no calories. Pickles. Do you ever eat dill pickles?
Yeah.
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 They have no calories.
Oh, really?
So yes. So by chewing a dill pickle, you're using more calories than you're consuming. You would literally starve to death if your entire diet was pickles. You would starve to death because you'd have to use more energy to consume them than you would actually get from them. Of course, water has 0 calories. Okay. Speaking of calories. All right. All right.
Every time you lick a stamp, you are consuming 1/10 of calorie.
There you go. So there you go. a normal diet is 2,000 calories a day, usually for women, 2,500 for men. So think about that, you know. If
Yeah,
you
but unfortunately these days the stamp are sticky, so you don't really have to lick a stamp. So you can just
Yeah, that's
detach it
right.
and just put it into the envelope. That's it.
See, they're causing starvation around the world. It's horrible.
Uh,
So you could basically, if you lick 20,000 stamps in a day, you'd get your caloric intake for the day. And then you could work out by banging your head against the wall.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't want to lose that way, obviously.
I did
Okay.
warn you. These are dumb facts. All right, next one. All right.
Plymouth Rock weighs 7 tons. What's Plymouth Rock?
Okay. Plymouth Rock. All right.
Plymouth Rock.
Little cultural education for you. In Massachusetts is where Plymouth Rock is. It is where the pilgrims, the famous pilgrims,
Mhm.
first set foot in America.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is a famous landmark in America. This is where the pilgrims first set foot. I don't know why this is important particularly. I really don't, because there were already people had already come to America before and tried to settle in Virginia, in Canada, in the eastern along the eastern coast of Canada. You'd had Vikings 1,000 years before. Leif Erikson. There was a settlement in North America. So I have no idea why this is important, or why
Okay.
the pilgrims are so important. I don't really get it. I really don't. There had already been Spanish settlers. There had already been English settlers in Virginia. I don't know. But just so you know, it weighs 7 tons. Uh, Plymouth Rock is associated with the Pilgrims. The Pilgrims are associated with what holiday, Hogan, in America?
That Thanksgiving Day.
That's it.
Yeah.
I guess that's it. I guess that's why it's important. Um, okay.
So actually,
Interesting.
the Thanksgiving Day is celebrate between the Pilgrims and the Native Americans, right?
That's
So they
correct.
are cooperating. Okay.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
basically the idea.
Yeah, I think I heard a little bit about the history of the Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's not talk about it anymore because I'm really hungry. I haven't eaten yet. Think about Thanksgiving. You know what I'm thinking about. Turkey. Okay. How about this next interesting piece of trivia?
Okay, what's that? A 1 degree rise in temperature equals a 2% increase in peak electricity consumption. Mm.
Did you realize that when the temperature rises, we actually use more power? Did you know that?
No, because
Does
of
it?
the air conditioner.
I guess so. Does this seem logical to you?
Yeah, in Los Angeles. So we have some day we should not use, like between normal day, 2 to 4 or something. That's a peak day, peak
Uh-huh.
hour. So try to reduce the consumption of electricity. So I think
Uh-huh.
that might be related to this one.
I guess it is. Right. I live in the Philippines, as you probably know, and a lot of things that they do are related to this idea. Everybody, when it's really hot here, when it's the summer here, that's when even though it's a strange time compared to the rest of the year, it's like March, April, May, or yeah, end of March, April, May. That's when the school holidays are, because that's when it's really hot, so they don't have to cool down the schools, and that's when everybody goes on vacation as well.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
tend to go either to the beach where it's cooler or into the mountains where it's obviously cooler. So this is interesting, you know, to extrapolate this idea, that would mean as using energy creates more carbon, more emissions, which in turn increase the temperature, This looks like a vicious cycle to me, right?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, in cold country, even though in cold country, if they usually do not use electricity to warm the room or so. So they use fuel, for example.
That's
So
true.
that's why, yeah, it does not. They don't need electricity consumption if the degree if it's cold outside,
Yeah,
cold weather. Yeah,
that's true. I mean, electric heat exists, but it's very expensive. Or,
that's right.
yeah, it's not very economical.
So, for example, like some houses, their gas is much cheaper than the electricity. So if they are cold in the winter, so they sometimes they just try to use their burner, not like
Yeah.
turning on the heater.
Yeah.
So
Oh, right, right.
it's a little bit dangerous, but some
Yeah,
people they do.
a little bit. Yeah. I get nervous, whatever. Thinking about just using a burner or kerosene heaters make me nervous. Okay, here's another fun fact for you.
The Mayan calendar, the most accurate in the world, ends in the 2012
Uh-huh.
Mayan calendar. Wow, there is no more Mayan calendar in here.
I guess not. I guess it's all over. It's history. I have no idea why calendar is misspelled here. There, correction.
Calendar.
It's actually a very common misspelling. It actually ends with AR, not ER. So, okay.
Yeah, calendar. Right.
Anyway, do you remember when this happened? I mean, do you remember in 2012? If I'm not mistaken, it ended something like on the winter solstice, like December 22nd. I think so.
Is there some belief? The people believed.
Yeah, that the world was going to end.
Yeah, yeah. I think I heard that. Right.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
Mm.
Which, of course, again, didn't happen.
Is that some prophecy told that, or how people try to
Well,
believe
okay.
it? Right?
Well, this is the primary, I guess, evidence. I don't know what
Okay.
I don't know
Mayan
what you would
calendar.
call it. The Mayan calendar, yeah.
Okay.
Basically, they created it and it ended in 2012. There's a movie, right? 2012.
Yeah, I think I saw it. It's like describing the end of the Earth or so.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Is that the same as the day after tomorrow or something? It's different, right?
I think it's a different movie.
Different movie. Okay.
There's so
I
many of
might haven't
those.
seen. Very similar one, I guess.
Yeah, there's so many of those apocalypse movies.
Mm.
Yeah, meaning the end of the world, apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, I'm trying to write it here. Apocalypse. Yeah, the apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Okay.
The end of the world, however it may be. Speaking of the apocalypse, have you seen in the news recently that there's a giant meteor that's going to come pretty close to the Earth, and they're not exactly sure of its path? Did you hear
You
that?
mean the recent news?
Yeah, very recent. Yeah,
Oh no, I don't follow that.
now news.
So how close it will be?
Well,
Like
that's the scary thing. They don't exactly know. Close enough so that you can see it with the naked eye, but they can't tell you where to look in the sky and when to look because they're not exactly sure of the path.
Oh, okay.
Which is
So
actually
is there any possibility to collide?
which is the frightening part. Well, I don't know. How much do you trust scientists? Hogan.
These days, I trust a lot because they calculate based on some laws or maybe
Laws of physics. Yeah,
laws of physics. So
that's it. But yeah. So basically, I've read. I haven't even actually really read a story. I've basically skimmed a couple different news stories. Basically, they're saying it's going to miss, but it's going to be a close miss. But They have not yet figured out where it's going to be and when. If you can see it with the naked eye, this is something that I would really enjoy doing. Hogan, do you ever watch the night sky for like falling stars when there's a meteorite shower or when there's a comet? Try to check out a comet. Do you ever doing that?
No, actually,
Really?
yeah. When I was very young, then I went the countryside and I saw the Milky Way, but I've never have any chance to see the other stuff. What did you just say? Meteor
Meteor shower.
Meteor shower. Yeah, I've never watched that before.
Yeah,
I hope.
Pretty cool. I can't remember exactly, in either late July or early August. I'm not sure, but there's one that's called the Leonide because it comes from Leo, the constellation. Comes generally from that direction. And it's pretty spectacular. I've done it a couple times in my life, a few times, I don't know, 3 or 4. Hike a mountain, camp out on the top of the mountain and watch the Leonide meteor shower.
Cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I've had a couple good ones where I counted over 100 shooting stars or meteor.
Wow. Over 100? Wow.
Yeah.
So how long it took? Like about an hour, 2 hours?
Yeah, until I fell asleep. I don't really remember exactly. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, an hour to 3 hours or 4 hours. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Okay. Next, incredibly astounding physical fact.
Yeah, telephone signal travels 100,000 miles per second. Is that the same speed as light? Speed of light?
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
No, the speed of light is 156,000 miles per second, I believe. I could be wrong.
Probably.
Just
Yeah.
grabbing that out of my head somewhere. It's some deep dark closet in my head seems to remember that number. So no, that would be slower.
Okay.
Which is interesting. Why? Isn't it? Okay.
Yeah, I just looked it. It's 186 miles per second.
186. I said
almost twice faster.
186. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you. That's interesting. So when I'm talking to somebody, the world isn't 100,000 miles long. Never mind. Okay.
But actually, you're saying, when you say and I'm saying, I don't really find any gap between them. Do you feel any difference?
Well, when there's an echo, like somebody, I hear a slight echo when I talk to you. I think you're listening on speakers on a laptop or something. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. When you hear the echoes, then you probably can feel.
Yeah.
But,
so I can barely hear it. I have to really concentrate. If it's interesting when you have an echo and you're talking to somebody on Google Hangouts or Skype or what have you. It's very disconcerting. You can't really speak. It makes you talk like, and you get very confused. We're so used to hearing the sound of our own voice instantly when we speak, and it's part of the speaking process. When you have to listen to an echo of your own voice, it's really difficult to speak fluently and continuously. Excuse me. Okay. There's 31,622,400,000 seconds in a leap year. Okay, well, that's fascinating. Okay. Well,
so
all right.
the leap year is the year then every 4. Is that every 4 years? Right?
Every 4 years.
Every 4 years.
That's right.
The February is only 28 days, right?
Right. So every 4 years there's 29.
I always think that reminds me of someone was born in February 29th, then how can they celebrate that?
Yeah, they're only whatever.
Every 4 years or so.
They're 32, but they're only 8 years old, like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think they just celebrate anyway. I would, for sure. Extra celebration every 4 years, I suppose.
Right.
Okay. And I have no idea when the leap year is, to tell you the truth. I can never remember. Is it this? It's not this year, is it?
This
Or
year, I
this the
don't
leap
think
year?
so. This
Oh,
week?
okay.
This year? No, yeah, this year is the 29th. We have 29th day
We
of
do?
the month. We do, yep. So it's
Oh,
not leap
great.
year.
It is a leap year. That's what it
Oh,
means.
is it? Okay, right. So this
There,
year, leap year, right? I'm confused.
yeah, there's okay, so it matches presidential election cycles in America. I just remembered that. So yes, it is this year. So we get an extra day this year. Oh,
Oh, you
hooray.
mean the American presidential election is every 4 years?
It's every leap year. You
Oh,
could think
every
of it.
leap year.
You could think
Okay.
of it that way. Yeah, that's
Great,
right.
great. Good to know.
All right. Good to know. Important dumb facts to know. Yeah, hooray. Okay. All right. Woohoo. America once
America.
issued a 5-cent bill.
Wow.
Terrific.
Do you have it? Did you have
I
it?
I wish. You know, that would be worth some money.
Yeah, I guess so.
That had
Wow.
to be a very long time ago. Um, uh, Hoken, have you ever heard the expression "a wooden nickel"? I wouldn't give you a wooden nickel for that. I wouldn't pay a wooden nickel for that. Have you ever heard that?
You mean wood? Wood nickel?
As in wooden? Yeah, it's an expression.
Is it made of wood?
Yeah.
But no, I've never heard about that. What does that mean? What does it
Hey,
mean?
well, interestingly, America, in addition to a 5-cent bill, for a while, I'm not sure when it was. Perhaps it was during the Civil War. It was during some war. There's been so many in America, who knows? But during some war where there was a shortage of iron, for obviously iron for military uses, cannons and bullets and whatever.
Ah,
So they produced nickels made out of wood.
okay.
Not for long, for just I don't know, a year, 2 years, 3 years. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but I've actually seen one. Well, in a museum, but yeah, it has an Indian's head on it. Indian head, wooden nickel. But after it was only, it existed for like 2 years, and then of course after that, a wooden nickel wasn't worth anything. No one would take it. You couldn't use it to pay for things, and it was worth nothing. So, thus the expression, "I wouldn't give you a wooden nickel" for that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Oh, hooray. Okay. Can you read this one?
Yeah. Every 45 seconds, a house catches on fire in the United States.
Woohoo!
Really?
Okay. Obviously, we don't have any facts before us, but how do you think this compares with other countries? How does it compare to Korea, for example? Any
Mm,
any guess? I know you're just guessing, but
yeah, I'm guessing. I think in the United States, has less catches on fire
okay. Let's.
because, for example, like in California, the sprinkler is mandatory. So,
Yeah.
but no, I don't know other parts of the United States. Probably they don't have any such strict rules.
Many of them do. I mean, I've lived in New York, Vermont, Louisiana, Connecticut for a little while. And I think everywhere that I can, and California, and everywhere I can remember being, if you're going to rent an apartment or office or whatever, if you're renting anything, any kind of building, you have to have, in every single room, you have to have a smoke detector.
Yeah,
And
that's the rule. Yeah, I know that, but not the
yeah,
sprinkler.
not the sprinkler, but I think the sprinkler is mandatory for like public buildings,
Okay.
buildings where the public in
Yeah,
general can't go.
possibly. Right.
In many places, a sprinkler system is mandatory.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're very, and I've had classes about safety, and public safety before, and you're absolutely right. In the United States has by far the strictest requirements regarding public safety, especially fires. They're much other places. I mean, nothing. Nobody seems to have sprinklers or smoke alarms or fire extinguishers. Or I'm really quite surprised. Being that I grew up in America, I'm amazed when people say, oh, there's no fire extinguisher in my school. There's no. I'm so used to seeing the sprinkler system everywhere and the hoses that break glass, and there's an axe in there and a hose and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I heard that in California, this is strict rule. Even in the house, you have to have the sprinkler system. So some people say that that's the one of the reason why the house price is higher, because they need to meet every single regulation, strict regulation, so that they have to provide a lot, something not necessarily. If it's heavy, but it's good, but it's very rare to catch on fire in the house. So
Yeah,
so it's a kind of waste of money, I guess.
but it does happen. Have you ever been in a fire?
Yes.
What happened?
So when I was in Korea, and we had a party, new home party. So then at the time we had a lot of used a lot of electricity. So it catch on fire in the one of the wires. So fortunately we had a distinguish dis, what is that, distinguisher, extinguisher. Okay, so yeah, extinguisher. So
oh, good.
how can I say, I put off the fire, but it messed up entire party food or something. Yeah,
it's a messy business putting out a fire.
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
And how about you? Have you?
Yeah, it's quite embarrassing. I was gonna make myself French fries as a snack, and I put on the pot of vegetable oil and I put on the fire, and I realized I had no ketchup. So I ran to the store, which is very close to my house. I thought I'd be gone 2 minutes,
Okay.
And
then what happened?
That would let the oil heat up. What happened? I met somebody, I don't even remember who, and started talking to them about, I don't even remember what, but I got involved in a conversation and forgot. So I didn't go back to my house for like 15 or 20 minutes. And when I came back, the oil was on fire, and the fire was already burning the cupboards above the stove. I had a fan above the stove, and above the fan there were cupboards. So the fan screen was on fire and the cupboards were on fire. Yeah, not good. I was I worked at a hotel. I was a chef at a hotel that also caught on fire. That was exciting because there was hotel guests. We had to go tell them to go stand outside. It was in the middle of winter. It was really cold. So that was exciting. We had hotel guests standing around in their underwear outside, and it was like -20 or something.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Probably our last fun fact of the day. Well, okay.
In the United States, in the US, the average bride is 21 years old. The average groom is 23.
I don't know if I believe that. Do you believe that?
No, maybe it's a statistic from very old age.
It doesn't seem right.
Modern. It doesn't seem right.
No,
I would say bride 26 and groom is 29. That's what I think.
Something like that. Yeah. I think you're in the ballpark.
Ballpark? What do you mean by that?
Okay, in the ballpark means I think that your numbers are pretty close. You're in the ballpark. Yeah, it's an idiom that
21 years, that's too early, I guess.
Seems young.
Yeah, very young.
Hogan, I have to tell you, because you're Korean, and I used to work in a school where it was an ESL school, but half the students, or maybe even more than half the students, were Koreans.
Mhm.
I would often ask the question, "Oh, will you ever get married?" or talking about marriage in general. And I am amazed how many times that Koreans would answer me, "Yes, I will marry when I'm 26." Like, and I'm like, "Well, have you met anyone yet? Is there somebody? Do you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, depending on who I was talking to?" No, not yet.
Just decided. So
Yeah.
20 years, 6 years or so.
It was it really freaked me out because Americans don't think that way at all. It's yeah, I'll marry someday. They have no idea, when, and they have to meet somebody. But so many Koreans, they'd be usually university students, and
You
so
mean
they
man and woman, or it
both
doesn't matter?
both.
Both?
So they'd be like 19 to 22 years old, and I'd ask them, and they'd say, "Oh, and that very consistently when I'm 26."
Oh, really?
Very, very
Uh,
shockingly
yeah, I
consistent.
didn't know that. So,
Really? You didn't?
yeah.
Okay.
But these days it's very difficult to get married in early in when young. So because of how to find a decent job in
Yeah.
Korea,
Right.
and a lot of the young lady doesn't want to.
Oops. Okay. Well, maybe our friend Hogan can finish that thought another time. And as it were, Hogan, bye if you're out there. Our time is up anyway. So thank you very much. Special thanks to Hogan, who sacrificed himself for the good of the class. Thank you very much. And bye, everyone.